Hello, Ben Jacobs here, US men's national team reporter, live from the SoFi Stadium in LA, where the USA are going to be taking on Paraguay in their opening game. It's 32 degrees, by the way, hence the fantastic sunglasses. Today, we're going to delve into 9 rule changes that are going to be fascinating and rolled out for the 2026 World Cup. VAR will have enhanced powers. Let's start with number 1, and I think that West Ham fans in particular may be really interested by this. Officials will now have the ability to review at the monitor a potential foul by an attacking player before a ball is delivered from a corner or a set piece. And the officials could look at it and maybe rule out a goal, or alternatively issue a card. Usually it would be the case the referee would just run into the penalty box, have words with players, and then the ball would be delivered. But now a potential infraction, if it is from an attacking player, could result in a goal being ruled out, or alternatively a yellow or red card. In addition, speaking of yellow cards, the second rule that is worth mentioning, VAR can now look at sendings off resulting in second yellows and review that second card. However, what they can't do is if a foul takes place and a player was on a yellow card, VAR will not have the power to recommend that the on-field officials give a second yellow. But if that second yellow is given, then VAR can look and determine whether or not that is the right or the wrong decision. Now, speaking of time wasting, 2 things to note. The first is there's a 5-second countdown for throw-ins and goal kicks. And if players don't get a move on, the decision can be reversed. So there you are, about to take a goal kick, 6 seconds, you end up conceding a corner, and throw-ins will be reversed to the opposition if they are not delivered within that 5 seconds. And then substitutions. We know that traditionally officials have always added 30 seconds, and yet the actual player departing will only have 10 seconds to get off the field. Remember, they don't have to run directly to the tunnel or the dugout. They can exit at any point of the field, but 10 seconds to get off the field. If they take 11 or more, the player going on will have to wait 60 seconds before they're introduced to the game, giving the opponent an advantage of 11 against 10. So substitutions in a hurry is the 5th rule change at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. On to number 6, and it relates to tactical timeouts. Now, traditionally, what we've seen in the last maybe 2 years of the game is players use injury breaks to try and speak to each other, go and have a hydration break, have a huddle, and there is a theory out there that some players go down with cramp in order to break up the rhythm of the game. The officials at this World Cup will not specifically have powers to punish players other than the usual yellow card for time wasting, but my understanding is that referees will be trying to clamp down on this, and if they think there is a delay of game for tactical reasons, they will go out of their way to get play restarted as quick as possible. Now, what about legitimate injuries? This is a very interesting topic and could be quite contentious at the 2026 World Cup, because what FIFA have decided is when an injury stops play, the player must leave the field and stay there for 60 seconds. So gone are the days of a player going off, receiving a bit of minor treatment and being waved straight back on. Now the player must abide by a strict 60-second clock, giving the opponent an advantage in terms of numbers. But there are key exceptions. It will not apply to a goalkeeper injury. It will not apply if there is a concussion. It will not apply if one player from each side is down. It will not apply if the foul is deemed to be malicious, or if the foul resulted in a card, because what FIFA don't want is to find that somebody in the last minutes of the game intentionally picks up a yellow card and injures someone to gain a numerical advantage. So there's only certain scenarios where this will apply, but managers might not like this rule because they'll want their player on again as soon as possible. If they go off though due to an injury, they'll have to abide by that 60-second rule. And my final two rules for you. Players, when confronting an opponent who cover their mouth with their hand or, for example, their shirt, will face a red card. This doesn't apply if teammates are talking to each other, because they may want to mask what they're saying for tactical reasons. But if there is a point of confrontation, and like when Gianluca Prestiani went up to Vinny Jr., said something and covered his mouth, if the officials see that taking place, they will give an automatic red card to the player who makes that gesture. Players will also be red carded if they are seen to have willfully delayed the game, and if they walk off in protest against a decision. And this will also apply to staff as well, if they wave their players off the field and in any way, in an exaggerated form of course, delay the game. It's at the discretion of the officials to give a red card, and FIFA think that that will stop any kind of abuse when players square up to each other on opposing sides. And if it is masked, there will be a red card. So hopefully that will act as a disincentive. And then the last thing, which I suppose you'd expect just looking at me in these sunglasses and with the heat shining on my face, there will be hydration breaks, and there will be 3 minutes, and there will be roughly in the middle of each half. There is some discretion if, for example, there's an injury on 20 minutes instead of exactly midway through the half, the hydration break can be taken. Now, Mauricio Pochettino, in the US men's national team win in their warm-up game over Senegal, used the hydration breaks a little bit differently. He called his players over back to the dugout. He got out a laptop and he started playing them tactical videos. At that point, it was not clear whether the same tactic would be approved during the World Cup. But I can now reveal that FIFA have green-lit the ability for coaches to coach and use laptops or iPads during these 3-minute hydration breaks. So this might be the World Cup that's defined by in-game coaching, and those hydration breaks in many ways look a bit more like timeouts. So those are the major rule changes at the 2026 World Cup. Thanks for following along here on YouTube. Make sure you follow us throughout the tournament. We'll be embedded within the US men's national team camp in Irvine, California. 2 of the 3 games here for the US men's national team are at the SoFi Stadium, and we've got a trip to Seattle sandwiched in between. Thanks so much for watching. I've been Ben Jacobs. Stay tuned for talkSPORT. We've got huge World Cup coverage coming with the tournament less than 2 weeks away.